my most amazing artists, and welcome back to art class. This week we are going to be reading a book called Quackers by Liz Wong. It has a really fun message to it. It's a really fun story. And then we are going to work together to draw our main character, Quackers, who, as you can see here, is a cat, step by step. And we're going to work on our drawing skills, our coloring skills, and we're going to work on making sure that we know how to make a complete drawing. So let's start off by reading our book, and then we'll get right to the fun part with the art. Quackers by Liz Wong. Meow. Quackers is a duck. Wait, I don't think that's a duck. Is that a duck? No, that's a cat. Man, this book is confusing already. I mean, I guess we should just keep reading and see what it says, right? He knows he is a duck because he lives at the duck pond with all the other ducks. And everyone he knows is a duck. Duck, 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 duck. So he must be a duck. But sometimes he feels like he doesn't quite fit in. He often has trouble communicating. Meow, meow, meow. Quack. He doesn't care much for the dinner options. Slugs, snails, seeds, worms, algae, duckweed. Ugh, not duckweed again. Most of all, he hates getting wet. Doesn't really seem like Quackers, can be a duck if he doesn't really like doing duck things. Then one day, Quackers met a strange duck. Meow, meow. Did he meet another duck? No, he met a cat. You're right, he met another cat, but he doesn't know he's a cat yet. All he knows are ducks, so let's see what happens. Quackers was overjoyed. You understand me? Of course I do. I've never met a duck who understood me. Duck? Wait a second. You think you're a duck? The strange duck, who turned out to be Mittens, seemed to find something very amusing. He thinks he's a duck. Mittens thought for a moment and said, "You'd better come with me." Now, was it very nice for Mittens to laugh at Quackers? Probably not, but he's going to be a good friend, and he's going to bring him to show him maybe some cat things. That's where I live. He lives in does anybody know what this is? This is called a barn that could be found on a farm. Come on! Quackers had never been anywhere so entirely unlike home. Inside was a whole flock of strange ducks. Ducks just like Quackers. But again, they're not ducks, right? They're cats. Just look at all those ducks. We're cats, silly. We chase mice, way more fun than swimming. Drink milk, so much tastier than duckweed. And clean ourselves. Well, this isn't quite as exciting. You get used to it. Before long, Quackers felt right at home. Look at him and all those kitty cats. Quackers liked being a cat, but he began to miss the duck pond. He missed the rustle of the wind through the reeds. He missed snuggling under a warm, feathery wing. He even missed the taste of duckweed. This isn't so bad. And when he arrived back at the pond, he realized that most of all, he missed his friends. All the ducks welcomed him back. Now Quacker spends part of his days at the farm, chasing mice, drinking milk, and cleaning himself. This part's still not that great. And part at the pond. Who wants duckweed? Quack. Quackers is a duck, and Quackers is a cat. but most of all, he's just Quackers. And that makes him completely happy. So yeah, he's a cat, but he is just himself. And part of that is being a cat, and part of that is being friends with ducks, and that's okay. So now we are going to follow step-by-step directions, and I'm going to show you how you can draw our main character, Quackers. You're going to need pencil, paper, maybe an eraser in case you make a mistake, and then I'm going to show you how to color it so it looks like Quackers, but we are going to take another look at our page in our book that has all of those different cats and how we can draw different types of kitties, and you're going to get to draw which one you want to do. So let's get on over to that art part. All right, so to start drawing Quackers, we are actually going to start by drawing his head upside down, and then we're going to turn our paper. So we are holding our paper vertically, which remember means up and down, not side to side, because Quackers is sitting on his hind legs and he has his two front paws and his tail. He's nice and tall, so we want to make sure that we can fit him on the paper. So I'm going to start by drawing his head. His head this is like the halfway mark, so it's about halfway. It's pretty big, all right? But instead of trying to draw it up here, I'm actually going to draw it at the bottom, and then I'm going to turn my paper. So watch. I'm going to leave a little bit of room here for the ears, and I'm going to draw a rainbow line like that. It's pretty big. Now, if you're not sure how big to do it, you can actually take your 4 fingers, put them together, tuck your thumb in, and use that as a guide to draw your rainbow line over your fingers. So now I am going to rotate my paper so I can keep drawing Quackers. All right, so I'm drawing a pencil and then I'm going to trace over a Sharpie. Something that we're going to use in our drawing is something called helper lines. Helper lines are lines that we use in a drawing that we then end up erasing. Now, they're not that big in this picture. They're very, very tiny, but they're lines that we don't want to keep in the picture because it won't make sense. So that's why I would definitely draw this in pencil, and then when you're done, we can trace it with a marker to make it look more neat and complete. All right, so Quackers needs his ears, so I'm going to continue his head up and in just a little bit, and then I am going to create his ears and close the top of the head. Now remember, as I'm drawing, I'm going to go a little bit fast, but if you need to, you can always pause and rewind the video in case I'm going too fast for you, okay? All right, so Quackers. So for his face, we're going to give him a nose, which is just an upside down triangle. And then from the bottom of his nose, you can give him a smile, which is kind of like drawing the letter J and then a backwards J. And that's how you get kind of a kitty cat smile. You can also give him eyes and whiskers, of course. All right, we're gonna add his stripes when we're completely done. So we're just gonna leave his cat head for now. Now, Quackers is sitting on a lily pad at the duck pond. So for his body, I'm actually gonna draw a U shape, but I'm not gonna go right under him. I'm gonna tilt it just a little bit. So I'm going to draw this U shape that kind of goes down and comes up like that. So when you look at it, it looks a little crooked, and it's supposed to look like that. All right, and a couple of our helper lines are gonna be down here at the bottom where we're gonna add his feet and his arms. Now, I'm actually going to do his back foot first, and we're gonna draw a backwards letter C that kind of, not touching here, I'm gonna move in just a little bit, and I'm gonna draw a backwards letter C that then touches right there. And then right where this line is here, right on the bottom of his body, I'm gonna make a little foot, and it's gonna come right back up, right into that line right there. And this is our first helper line. We're gonna erase this little part right here of his body. And you want to make sure that you erase along the line. If a little bit of it is still showing, it's okay. This is also a good point where this is a good time to practice not pressing too hard on the paper. If you know that you need to erase some things, if you press really, really hard on your pencil, it's going to be a lot harder to erase it than if you press really lightly. So this is a good time to practice that. All right, so there's his back foot. This is going to help us make his front feet a little bit longer, and we're going to hide that other foot in the back there. So from the top of his body, I'm going to come down until I reach about the same spot as that bottom foot. And I'm going to come back up. And then I'm going to do another one right next to it, just as long, just like a really long, skinny U. And then you can see where my other helper lines are that are inside of the arm. So we're going to erase this little bit right here and this little bit on the inside of this one right here. Okay, so there's my arms. I'm going to fix this. Okay, there's my belly. And then he does have another little foot that we can kind of just pretend is here. So I'm going to see a little bit of it there and a little bit of it there. So just kind of tuck a little extra foot in there. All right. And then the last part that he needs is his tail. So the tail comes out of the back leg, comes up, make it a little wiggly. Doesn't have to be super wiggly. And there is his tail. We can also add some details like his stripes. Now this is the part where you don't have to do this. Now I'm actually going to make a different cat. Now for Quackers, Quackers was an orange tabby cat with brown stripes. So if I hold Quackers a little closer there for you, you can see that to make a tabby cat, you just make little triangle shapes, a few on the face, a few on the top of the forehead, and then you make a few along the back, and you can make it whatever color you want. Now, if we turn to this page where we met all of these new friends that Quackers made, there are so many different types of cats. If you guys have ever been on my live hours with me, you may have met my cat, Winston. He's a tuxedo. He would be similar to, I'd probably say this gray guy here. So have like a little triangle color on his face, maybe a different color on his belly. You can have different types of cats with different types of stripes. This cat actually has some polka dots. All right, so they can be all different colors. I'm gonna make this kitty a little bit more like mine. So my cat has, I'm gonna give him kind of like a little stripe at the top of his nose. And I think I'm gonna make sure that this kitty has like a different color belly. Like that. So I'm going to make his whole belly a different color. And I'm going to make his legs another color. All right. And I might give him a little spot on his back. And then some of the cats, like Quackers, some of the cats have just the same color ear, but some of them, you can see the insides of their ears. So if you want to, you can add triangles on the inside of the ears. Remember, you don't have to do this. You can make the cat look however you want. But you can have a little fun with this. So I'm going to hold that page up one more time right here. If you want to pause the video and look at the different cats, now would be a good time to do that, and you can pick one that you like. All right, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to take a second to color my little buddy here, and then we'll come back and see what he looks like and wrap up this lesson. So let's do that. I'm going to trace him with a Sharpie, and I'm going to add some color. So I will be right back. Okay, so I finished coloring my cat. Like I said, you don't have to make a picture of Quackers, but if you want to, remember Quackers was an orange tabby cat with brown stripes. Otherwise, you can have a little fun. You can make the cat look however you want. If you have a pet cat at home, maybe you want to make it look like your cat. But I made a kind of black and white, or maybe a gray if you color lightly kitty, with a white belly. He's got a little white patch of fur on his back and a little white stripe by his nose. And then I made the insides of his ears pink and his nose was pink, so you have lots of different options. So I hope that you enjoyed the story Quackers and learning step-by-step how to draw a duck. Remember that making your picture complete also means that you're doing a background. So for Quackers, I have him sitting on a lily pad, just like he is on the cover of the book, and I added some dark blue for the lake and some light blue for the sky. My other kitty, I thought about where the other cats were on the inside of the book and how they were all inside the barn, and I thought about what would be inside of a barn. So I made the background red like the barn, and I thought that inside a barn you would see hay. So I colored the ground yellow, and I put little brown, like random lines just to make it look like hay. So you can put your kitty wherever you want. Maybe he's sitting in a cat bed. Maybe he's got a toy next to him. All right, you can be creative and have a lot of fun with this. So remember, when you're done, send me a picture of your artwork so I can see what it looks like. And I can't wait to see all of your kitty cats inspired by the book Quackers by Liz Wong. And I will see you guys again next time for art class. Bye.